Thanks for clicking on Total Harmonic Distortion channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Eventide H9 multi-effects processor. This processor has too many algorithms to really go through, so we're just going to take a look at a couple of them. First up, let's take a look at the EQ compressor. Now, because this I use FFTs and things like that, I cannot really do anything with the compression. It just sort of doesn't work just because of the way I measure things. But we could take a look at the EQ. Okay, the EQ basically has a gain, a frequency, and a width, so it's a fully parametric EQ, and you can also see it in this kind of a shape. And let's smooth the frequency around a little bit just to make sure that my analyzer is fine. 399, yep, it sits right there, and that's saying it's negative 18 dB, I believe. You gotta go through all this stuff. Frequency, I want width. Yeah, width is basically the Q, which is kind of cool. It's kind of neat that basically I could change it all over here, and everything follows everything else on this interface. So they did a really good job integrating the iPad interface with the actual software that's running on the effect itself. Now, as far as latency, this does have a latency of, let's look over in delay just to get an actual value, of 2.25 milliseconds. You can see that, and basically when you're in bypass mode, it goes to a relay bypass, so it's a true analog bypass. And I probably should talk about this particular signal over here. This is basically the impulse response of my audio interface itself. There's two kinds of it's basically showing this this curve right down here. And it's basically due to half-band filters. When you oversample at a higher sampling rate and you have to divide the sampling rate down, 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 this is part of the artifact of that process. It doesn't really affect the magnitude anywhere around here, but it will affect the phase as you go down there. The next algorithm we're going to take a look at is spring reverb. Spring reverbs typically have a little divot at 4K as far as the delay and frequency, and they don't really go very much past 4K in frequency response, and that's basically the response of a real reverb. In this case, what we're looking at is we have a mix control which controls the initial thing, and you can see there is a delay, the typical delay there, but they also add in another delay on top of that. There's a tension control which looks like it's some sort of a pre-delay, and there's a number of springs. If we move the springs up, you can see two. Actually, this goes partial springs, so that's 2.1 springs. And it goes up to 3 springs, kind of a thing, and you can see it all kind of gets messed all together. In addition, there's a low dampening and high dampening. As you see, it drops the red down there, and the high dampening will drop that down. I'll kick that all the way up. There's also modulation, a resonance, and tremolo, which really is hard to see. I guess I could kind of try to. Let me click over here and speed this up a little bit. See if you can see the tremolo working. Ah, there you go. You can kind of see it. But anyways, in addition to it, it has the normal decay, and when we move the decay on, you can see it basically starts repeating that process over and over and over again. And unfortunately, it all gets mixed together like that. But anyways, that's a kind of a odd reverb, spring reverb, because it has this divot here, but it also adds in another impulse there. I don't know. I guess normal spring reverbs are kind of dull sounding because they really only go up to 4 or 5K. So this is kind of a way around it, and I guess it was just their way of fixing that. Anyways, let's take a look at another algorithm. The next algorithm we're going to take a look at is Tricera chorus. This is a chorus effect. It's a 3-band chorus effect, but in addition to that, it also has micro pitch adjustments. So this is the chorus effect, and basically you can go to, there's a two modes on this thing. There's a choral mix too, which is similar to a chorus, but it's, I don't know, it sort of bounces back and forth, kind of weird. And it also does, if you go to right there, it's vibrato mode, which basically turns off the thing, and you get 3 bands of vibrato. Now, as far as the depth, there's 3 depths over here, one for left, center, and right. I'm running this thing in mono right now, so they all kind of get mixed together. But let's go back to chorus mode, and you can see it just basically sticks in your initial impulse. So we'll knock off the chorus completely, and we'll go to the detune side of this thing. So a detune works by basically always shifting the frequency in one direction. Now you can see it'll occasionally bounce because it runs out of room, and what it does is it does some correlations somewhat, and tries to find a spot where it can kind of bounce in the right spot. So it doesn't always go back to the specific spot. It kind of looks for a spot that it looks like it's gonna sound the best. And so what you can do with this thing is mix in this detune and also a tri-band chorus, and make for some really interesting choral effects. So that's the tri-chorus effect. I guess we should start taking a look at the noise floor and stuff like that. The noise floor for tri-chorus looks pretty good. Let's turn this thing off in true bypass mode. Yeah, it's up a little bit. That could be me because I'm not running balanced signals in here. I'm running unbalanced signals, and I compensate for volume and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of getting a little bit closer. You turn the effect on, and it does go up a little bit. It's probably part of the effect that's running. It really depends on that. Let's move to algorithms and just go to a compressor or something like that. So yeah, it looks like it's just up a little bit compared to a true relay bypass, but there's no peaks or any spikes like that at all. And as far as the delayed stuff like that, you can see there is the latency in there, which is a bit on the noise side. But other than that, it's a really good pedal. It has a ton of algorithms. They all sound really good. It looks like it uses floating point processing as far as the filtering is concerned when I was taking a close look at that. So I guess the only thing left to do is take a look on the browser. And look on the browser, let's see. This is kind of an expensive one. It's looking at on sale for $5.80, usually $5.99. There's not much of a discount considering this has been out forever. It's a good pedal. My only complaint is I wish it had an analog pass-through so that you wouldn't have the 2 millisecond latency all the time. But you should probably go to the normal shopping mode just to kind of get a sense of it. So okay, $400 used, $390, yeah, $380 used. That seems about right. I was kind of wanting one of these black ones, and I think they also made one in chrome too, but I don't know. I just don't have that kind of money right now. So, and I already have actually 2 of these. So, anyways, that's the Eventide H9 harmonizer. Please subscribe, and thanks for watching.